In this video, we're going to talk about viruses. Last video, we talked about bacteria and how they can make you sick, and their shapes and what they are and how big they are. Well, today we're going to talk about bacteria. What I want you to do right now is to pause the video, just like you did for the bacteria one. Go on YouTube and search up virus facts for kids, or how do viruses make us sick, or what is a virus, something along those lines, so that you can have some base knowledge for when you're watching this video, you can understand things a little clearer. So go ahead, pause it, go out there on the YouTube and find those videos. Don't watch anything longer than like a 3-minute video. I don't want you to lose your attention or spend all your time watching a highly interesting hour-long documentary about viruses. It's really not that important. I just want you to know some basic facts about viruses. Alright? So, let's talk about a virus. Viruses are teeny tiny. They are microscopic. While a bacteria and a virus are both prokaryotes, viruses are just minuscule. I talked about in class that you could prick your finger and within a single drop of blood, 5 million individual virus cells could fit in there. That's not to say your blood has viruses. That's not to say that at all. But you can get a kind of feel about what size viruses are. Viruses enter your mouth, your eyes, your nose, your ears, any cuts on your skin. That's why during this time of the year, this is the winter, we say you have to make sure that you are washing your hands, because if you touch someone that has a virus exposed, or something that has a virus exposed, it could very easily get on your hands, and it gets in your bloodstream, and then it starts dividing through what's called as the Lytic cycle, and we'll cover that in just a minute. So wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, don't be gross and spread viruses. Let's talk about the characteristics of a virus. A virus, by definition, is not a living thing. A virus does not replicate. It does not move on its own. It does not respond to stimulus, and it doesn't grow. So we don't say that the viruses are alive. We don't say they're dead, but they're not alive. In order to be dead, you had to first be alive. They're not. So in your notes, write down viruses are not living things, because they're not. The next thing you need to write down is viruses need a host. In order to survive, a virus needs a host. A virus cannot survive outside of something else. We saw in the Bill Nye video, and we heard through our classroom discussions, that if you were to somehow take a virus out of your body and put it onto a table, it would die within a couple of minutes. But inside our bodies, they're able to replicate. I'm going to show you some facts about viruses, and then you can write these in your notes. So the first thing you guys need for sure is to write down that a virus needs a host. Virus needs a host. We're going to cover the Lytic cycle, and that they are not alive. The Lytic cycle is how they multiply. Well, at first, let's look at, there's 3 different types of viruses, and they're specific to how they make you sick. Alright? So you're going to write down these, and I want you to illustrate these. So I'm going to put it up. You can pause the video, and I need these illustrated in your notes. Alright? So pause, and I'm going to put it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, got them written down? Awesome. So the first thing we see is a what's known as bacteriophage. This is kind of what we think of when we think of a virus. This is what you may have seen on the TV, maybe on the news. All viruses have the exact same kind of physical structures, where they have what's known as a capsid protein. You need to write this down for sure. A capsid protein is where the DNA is stored. And they all have some forms of latching on to whatever cell they're going to have. So here's a bacteriophage, here's an animal virus, and a retrovirus. The structure on the outside is how they attach to your body. This guy here, it kind of looks like it's almost like a person. There's a head, a body, and I see legs. This guy here, he finds a cell, attaches with his legs, and uses these little pointy stickers to attach to the cell and inject its DNA. It's a very, very fast process. We're going to cover that right now. So viruses are different from bacteria. Bacteria, if you recall, they multiply by what's known as the forgot. No, I'm kidding. Binary fission. All right, so bacteria replicate through binary fission. Viruses can't do that. Viruses can't just divide themselves in half and move on. Viruses have to inject their DNA into a structure. But viruses are disgusting because what they do is they take a white blood cell and they float around and they attach themselves to it. Then they open up their capsin and they inject their DNA into there. Well, once that DNA gets into a white blood cell, it starts replicating rapidly. And while it's replicating rapidly, it destroys the DNA in that white blood cell, and it's making copies of itself. And if you remember on the Bill Nye video, it's filling up this big balloon, and the cell is expanding, and it's being filled with new versions of that virus. And then that cell can't take it anymore, and it stretches and explodes. And then out come these virus cells, left and right, and they're attaching themselves to white blood cells, and they're reproducing that cycle over and over again. That's why if you have ever got the flu, you learn real quickly how fast you get sick. Well, what's going inside your body is those virus cells are destroying white blood cells. The white blood cells are those defenders of our body, and they're just destroying, and they're using them as their cycle. So that's why we have to go and get medicine and go see a doctor, because they have to give us actual more white blood cells to fight off those viruses. So I'm going to hold up the iPad again. I'm going to show you the Lytic cycle, and I need to see this in your notes for credit. All right, just like that. And I want you to label Lytic cycle right above there. Okay, you need to pause the video to put this in your notebook. I'm going to put it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so you've now seen the bacteria and virus videos. On Friday, or maybe on the next day, we will be actually working in the classroom creating these models, and you guys are going to show me binary fission and the Lytic cycle and all this amazing stuff about viruses.